When we think about it, creativity thrives when our perspectives shift. This perspective shift at its core is about connecting dots that others may not have noticed and seeing the world from angles most miss. And to open up and approach creative pursuits in a new and exciting way, resetting our everyday understanding, biases, and overall worldview is essential. Doing this enriches our understanding of the world and empowers us to craft original, resonant art. So the question becomes, how can you embrace a broader perspective and perhaps a different perspective? And how do we use it to fuel your creativity? Well, we'll get into that. But first, let's explore why it matters. Then we'll look at 3 fun exercises that inspire fresh thinking. So how will changing our perspective fuel our creativity? Well, first of all, it breaks through stagnation. Sticking to a single perspective often leads to a creative plateauing. Expanding your worldview introduces you to novel ideas, cultures, and philosophies, helping you to see the possibilities. And we all know that we can get into ruts, even with habits that we love. We can fall into that soul-crushing sameness after a while. Secondly, it invites empathy and authenticity. Great art connects because it speaks truths that resonate universally. Broadening your understanding of others' experiences enriches your ability to tell authentic and compelling stories, whether it be through visual art, music, or writing. This is something that I used to do with my film and media students. I would have them write a quick scene of dialogue between 2 characters, and when they were done, I'd surprise them by having them rewrite the scene from the perspective of one of the characters in the background, someone who was the polar opposite of the main character that they just wrote, and make the scene work, and more importantly, be authentic to the new character's perspectives and motivations. And this is at the heart of this video. Now, lastly, and most importantly, it ignites curiosity. If you've seen any of my other videos, I often say that curiosity is the most powerful thing in any artist's journey. If you're not curious, you're really not an artist. And when you step outside your comfort zone, you activate this natural curiosity. It's kind of a state of wonder and is fertile ground for innovation and originality. So here are 3 exercises to expand your worldview and boost creativity. First, let's start with a perspective shuffle. This works by picking a random profession, culture, or era and imagining how someone in that context would solve a problem you're facing. For instance, how would a medieval artisan design a website? How might a street artist interpret an ancient myth? This exercise forces you to step outside your own mental framework, fostering adaptability and fresh thinking. Resetting the context and worldview of the creator, which is you, but not you. For more variety, you can create new prompts or identities yourself, or from a book or online generator. Mix it up. Our second exercise is like an opposite day experiment. The way this works is to take a routine or creative habit and do the complete opposite for a day. For example, if you normally sketch fine details first, start with bold, messy strokes. And if you brainstorm on paper, try using clay or another medium instead. When we do this, we're challenging our usual methods, disrupting autopilot thinking, and forcing our brains to explore alternative approaches. If possible, and to make this more fun, have a friend do this too and exchange notes about what felt different and exciting. Our last exercise takes us out of our creative sanctuaries as we walk, wander, and wonder. I'll change that name, promise. So for this one, take a walk in an unfamiliar part of your city or visit a place that feels out of your element. As you wander, carry a notebook and write down 10 things that you notice that you wouldn't normally have paid attention to. Alternatively, take photos or sketch what catches your eye. Engaging with new environments encourages you to notice the extraordinary and the ordinary. By focusing on unfamiliar details, you nurture a heightened awareness that translates into richer creative art. Something you might try is to look for patterns or connections in what you observe during the walk. These insights can often spark new ideas for projects. By exploring all of these exercises and perspective shift, we embrace what is known as the Mosaic Mindset. When you open yourself to new perspectives, your creative mind becomes like a mosaic, a vibrant collection of diverse ideas, stories, and techniques. Another thing, and this is important, expanding your worldview doesn't mean abandoning who you are. It means enriching your creative toolkit with insights you didn't even know you needed. Each time you embrace a new perspective, you stretch the limits of your imagination And as those boundaries expand, so does your potential to create something really remarkable. So now, as we're all getting sick of hearing my voice, I'm going to get out of here. But before I go, I want to leave you with the words of English writer, speaker, and self-stylized philosophical entertainer, and a personal favorite of mine, Alan Watts, who, regarding our perceptions of the world, said, "We seldom realize that our most private thoughts and emotions are not actually our own. We think in terms of language and images, which we did not invent, but which were given to us by society." Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.